What aspects of cybersecurity are important to oil and gas provider? You mentioned availability is really key, keeping
Yeah.
those systems operating.
A lot of the companies that I work with, I usually come in, either they've done a recent upgrade. And so they want to know what their, risk profile looks like at that point, or they've acquired a new to them, but it's an old asset. So they're not exactly sure in a lot of cases what they've actually bought. And so like I'll come in, and a big part of that is asset identification, understanding what's on the network, what needs to be secure, and then, understanding what their risks are with what they need to operate. And that's vulnerabilities in their systems, open ports, applications they're using, firewall configurations, it just goes on, all the things that could potentially be leveraged in an attack against them.
Is there a lot of legacy equipment out there in oil and gas?
Yeah, that's how it is. If it's not broke, they really don't want to touch it. I remember one of the first times I was at a terminal, that's something that really kind of hit home to me is we're there and they're operating. And like, I remember I was in a building and you just hear the trucks pull up every 5 minutes. You hear the air brakes, the building's shaking a little bit, the engines, they have 8 rows and there's just trucks coming nonstop. There's people coming in and out. It's easy for us to look at something and say, oh, like could have been a cyber attack. But most of the time what's going on, it's just these guys are keeping that stuff running. And it's easy to forget that. That's something to just be aware of. That's how it is.
Yeah, I think that's a common problem throughout multiple industries. Several months ago, there was the FAA incident where they had to ground all these flights. I don't know if this was the impact, but there was a system in there that was so old. It took, I think, 30 to 40 minutes just to restart.
Yeah.
Modernization would be a great thing, but it's a challenge getting there, I'm sure.
The devices are expensive, even like a thermometer to measure the temperatures, but that's all explosion proof. They're very expensive, even on eBay, if you want to buy them already used and to play with. The engineering's at a whole different level. And it's because it's a dangerous environment and they take safety very seriously. And so they have to have that kind of equipment in